Hello, this is my third speech video for the Ron Paul curriculum. Today I would like to get into two particular topics, two big political problems that we have in America in 2020. The first one is, I want you to ask yourself, what is the BLM? And most people know what the BLM is, or they think they know what it is. So ask yourself that. What is the BLM? Well, I would like to start off this video with a story of me in May of 2020. I was scrolling through my Instagram casually, and I kept coming across these big black boxes. And I wasn't for sure what they were and why people were posting them. I thought it was like some national day or something that I didn't know about, which I don't always know about. And I looked at the captions by the time I got to the 10th one, I finally looked at the caption. And it said #Black Lives Matter. I wasn't for sure what that meant, Black Lives Matter. I was like, don't all lives matter? That's what I thought. So I went to my dad and I asked him, what is this? Why are people saying this? And he explained it to me, and it ties with the death of George Floyd. And those people are also saying that their lives are being oppressed. What? That's why I asked myself, what do we mean our lives are being oppressed? I don't understand. There is an angry mob running around in big cities such as Seattle and New York. They are looting and rioting buildings, burning down buildings, because they're saying their lives are being oppressed. And I totally don't understand why they're saying that, but they are saying that the police are murderers for killing George Floyd. Let me get into George Floyd for a second. George Floyd was a criminal who was resisting arrest and had cocaine on him at the time of his arrest, which led to his death. And he died due to a cop that knelt on his neck, which, before you tell yourself that was a terrible thing that happened, I will say that it was a terrible thing that happened, but it was bound to happen because he was resisting arrest. And whenever someone does resist arrest, something like that is going to happen. And he was going to die a terrible way, I thought, because he was a criminal and he had been put in jail and prison at least once a year or once every 2 years for drug abuse and cocaine abuse, which someone that does that is going to die not a very pleasant death. And he didn't. But the Black Lives Matter movement is a bunch of angry white and black people running around screaming in other people's faces that Black Lives Matter. They're also the same people that defunded the police, and now literally Seattle has no police because they defunded them, which that's exactly what they get. You want to defund the police for any reason whatsoever, that's what's going to happen, and I don't feel sorry for them. I don't want it to sound like I'm a racist, and actually the word racist is a myth. It's never happened. It's never been a thing before. It's never been an actual word. It was just made up by, I'm assuming, someone from Hollywood or something. These people are crazy. And I will say that because I have seen what they have done to people, and I've seen what they have done to big cities, and it's absolutely horrific that they would be running around screaming Black Lives Matter in your face and forcing you to say it when you know that all lives matter, not just Black Lives Matter. But they try to tell you that's not what they said. But it is what they're saying. When you go around screaming into my face, Black Lives Matter, that's what you're saying. You're not saying all lives matter. You're just saying that Black Lives Matter more. And that is exactly what they are saying. The second big political problem that I think what we're having is a bunch of these celebrities are saying that they want communism. And if you don't know what communism is, that's okay. I wasn't really sure what it is either, but the basic definition of it is everyone is equal. The whole community is equal. That's where it comes from, communism, community. And most people that hear that will think that that's a good thing, everyone's equal. And it does sound like it is a good thing. But if you actually studied about it, and I'm reading a book right now called The Persecutor. I'm almost done with it. I have 3 chapters left. It's an autobiography about a man named Sergei Kordakov and Soviet Russia in the 1960s. Before I tell you about the book, though, let me just say, communism is communism. You are not going to change it no matter what. Everyone is equally poor. And why I think that is because the book has showed me what communism is in a basic definition without going 20 minutes in talking about this. Communism in the Soviet Russia in the 1960s, if you were weak, which no one could be weak, you would die. You would not make it past 20. If you were weak, you died to famine or to suicide because you weren't going to make it in the Communist Party. You weren't not going to make it. But if you were strong and older, then you would either waste your life on drugs and vodka, or if you were strong, you wasted and risked your life for the Communist Party that killed your parents, siblings, and doesn't even care about you. Sergei Kordakov, he lived in the last children's home that he lived in his life. It was called Borisevo. I'm not sure how you say the names because they're pretty hard to pronounce. But in the children's home, they had aunts and uncles, and they were either children that were orphans, their parents died, or they were taken away from their parents because they were believers, and the parents were stripped from their parental rights. And the state had control over the children. All of the people in the children's home that were the leaders there were taken from the best position they could get to down to the lowest end of their jobs. So they took out all of their anger and wrath on the children, which either made them kill themselves or grow up to be the strongest there, which is absolutely terrible. And that's why I say everyone's equally poor. No one's going to be better. You're going to have a hierarchy and everyone under you. They think they can get better than you, but you're going to kill them in the end because they're trying to be better than you. That's communism for you. And if you don't believe me, read the book. It's really good. I really enjoyed it. And it was terrible what they did to believers, too. They formed this special police unit called the KGB. And they had these huge steel clubs, steel on the inside and solid rubber on the outside. They would use them against believers, and they also had these handcuffs with little teeth on the inside that whenever you struggle, it would become tighter and tighter until it eventually would probably burst through your flesh down to the bone, which is just a terrible way to be arrested, but that's what they did. They were absolutely merciless to the believers because they thought that they were a threat to society. The people that are saying they want communism in America, they have no idea what they're asking for. Communism is not what we want. We do not want communism. But that will conclude my speech for this week. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope that you don't want communism, and I hope that you don't want an angry BLM mob running around your city. Thank you, and have a great day.